Welcome to the Heart of Giving. This is a wonderful program because we talk about good things that people are doing voluntarily in the city of Long Beach to meet the needs of our citizens. Today's no exception. It's called Horizon Pregnancy Clinic, and it's fairly new to the city of Long Beach, but they've been around elsewhere. And I'm so glad that we have the founder, and that is Deborah Tews and Amber Auger. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Who is a volunteer.
Yeah.
And what is that? You know, it could mean many things.
Yes. First of all, it was founded by Eric Olson, who is a pastor in Huntington Beach. And it is a pregnancy clinic that we offer free pregnancy tests, ultrasounds, and options counseling to young women that find themselves in a crisis pregnancy or an unplanned pregnancy. And they don't know where to go, they don't know what they need.
They're
really.
Scared.
They're scared. And we're there to help them. And a year ago, we added this mobile clinic, which allows us to offer those services right on board the mobile. So we're
in
able
Long Beach.
In Long Beach. So we do have a brick and mortar building in Huntington. We've been there for about 11 years. And as I mentioned, a year ago, we added this mobile. And we have been called, and one of our strong volunteers lived in Long Beach and worked at St. Mary's. So there was a connection there, and through her dedication and her heart, she was able to communicate with some people at St. Mary's, and there's an organization called His Nesting Place and New Life Beginnings, where they are starting pregnancy centers, but they won't have the ultrasound machine. So through our mobile, we're able to support them and the women in need here in Long Beach with the ultrasound machine. And what that does is that changes their opportunity to see the life inside them. And we hope that they choose life for their babies.
And tell me the success that you've had in Huntington Beach.
Oh my goodness. So in the 11 years, we moved about 6 years ago to a new building. And in 2012, we became a clinic. And what that did for us is it allowed us, we became medical, and we added the ultrasound machine. And that enabled us to not only talk to girls about their pregnancy and the baby growing inside of them, but to actually show them through the ultrasound, and they can hear it as well. So it gives them an opportunity to choose life now for their baby. Their opportunity goes from 86 up to 86% from 30%. So without the ultrasound, only 30% of them would have chosen life, and they probably would have had an abortion. So we encourage life through parenting classes and educating them about their options. We are not activists in any way. We know that they have that option of abortion, and we do talk to them about what that is, but we also talk to them and empower them to make the choice for life through talking to them about their pregnancy, their parenting. We talk to them about adoption, what that looks like, and how we can help them all the way through. And we hope that they take our parenting classes, and it's called Earn While You Learn. So they take these classes, they earn points, they get to shop in our baby store, which is all donated items, which is incredible. And at the end before they have the baby, we have a baby shower for them. And it's so exciting. Our volunteers are blessed by it. Sometimes the couple will come, and a lot of times the fathers will come to the classes with them.
So these are not necessarily unwanted pregnancies.
No. Many are unplanned, but through our educating them, they're seeing the ultrasound. Many of them choose life when they were thinking.
So you're saving lives too.
Yes, yes. They were. Many of them do think their only option is abortion. So we help to show them it's not their only option, that we're there to help them all the way through.
And being as you were a founder, what got you into this?
I wasn't the founder. Sorry.
Okay, well that's all right.
Okay, that's okay.
You're the executive director.
Yes, I am, and
Sorry
I have
about
been.
that. I was thinking that
that's okay, but I have been around it for almost from the beginning.
Is that right?
And it's actually my mother-in-law's fault that I'm involved. She was moving here from North Carolina, was involved with a pregnancy center clinic back in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
She was moving here, and I knew the founder, so I said, she would be great to be on your board. And she said, well, I'll do it if you do it. And I thought, okay. And it wasn't necessarily passion for me at that time, but over the years, we actually, before we became a medical clinic, I resigned from the board. Part of that is my personal story, which is I don't have children of my own, but I felt like I can't be around ultrasounds. So I felt like I had to resign. And about a year, just the same year we became a clinic, a medical clinic, we almost ran out of money. We almost had to close our doors the same year. So at that time, the board asked me to come back. And I came back only with God's direction was I able to come back with more of a passion than I'd ever had before. And now I'm witnessing ultrasounds, and I have hundreds of children now.
Isn't that marvelous?
It's marvelous.
It's marvelous for them and for you.
Yes.
And that's what you're getting out of it.
It's such a blessing to be a part of it. So we are truly well-rounded for clients and people who maybe chose abortion in their life at some point. We offer post-abortion recovery. And that's part of Amber's story that she can touch on as well.
So they get to be with people that are like them.
Yes.
And they know they're not alone.
Right.
They get education.
Yes.
They save lives.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I can see why you're passionate.
Yes. And this year alone, we have helped 124 moms choose life for their baby. We've helped many more, but those are the abortion-minded women that have come to us.
And how did you get involved, Amber?
Wow, I came to Horizon Pregnancy Center about 8 years ago.
As a volunteer?
To take their post-abortion recovery. I found it at a church. I found a little flyer and I signed up, and that really changed my whole life. I had so much guilt and shame from my abortion when I was 15 that I didn't know how to really carry on. I was really depressed, couldn't really bond with my children, couldn't love myself. There were a lot of things that I was feeling shame about, just the guilt.
So you had children after that?
I did. I have 2 children. Yeah, they're 10 and 8.
And so you've kind of carried that shame when they were younger?
Absolutely, absolutely. Having trouble bonding. There's a lot of normal anxiety, depression, drug use. All of those things kind of
that
coincide.
comes with abortion?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I really was led to this Bible study, and it really just helped me release and know that I'm forgiven and know that I can move forward and be healed. And I was, and it was the most amazing 12 weeks of my life. And then moving forward, just really a different person.
And your children benefited a great deal from it.
Man, and my husband. Yeah, he's seen a big difference as well. My children, my 2 girls are amazing. And I know that during it, I even felt that feeling that moms are supposed to feel for their kids. I hadn't been able to feel that, and I was able to feel it after the class. And that's just really, it's really amazing. It's really a second chance to really heal and be on the other side of my abortion.
And to tell others your story.
Right, so that's another thing, is I had called up probably about 2 years after I had taken the class, and I just said, hey, I really want to speak to the youth. If I can help one girl know my story to maybe change their story, I would be willing to go public speak, which if you would have asked me before, that would be the worst thing I could ever do, ever.
Is to
would
talk
be
in front of anybody?
Talk in front of anybody. I think
Out loud.
I think I failed my public speaking class in college. So, but I knew that that's what I was being called to do, is to share my story and really use my ashes for glory and for help. So I was able to, I've been speaking now for about 3 years with a sexual integrity program to junior high schoolers, and even we go to clinics and high schools.
Homes, pregnancy homes.
We do pregnancy homes as well. So we speak to women and men of all ages.
And you talk about your background?
I do. We did sexual integrity. So we really talk about the reality of having sex and getting pregnant and where that's at and what your choices are. And then I also am now leading the post-abortion recovery for other women to be healed and set free.
So it's a full-time job.
And my
Almost.
full-time job. I'm a volunteer and have a full-time job and my kids. So, but you know what? It works out, and it's a blessing to me to help
Well,
others.
you know, with anything that has happened in your life that you're not happy about, just if another person had that same experience, you're gonna glom onto them. So the fact that you can share how you were is so meaningful to them.
Yeah, I run into a lot of women who have the same. It's the same path after your abortion that really just kind of spirals your life. And I was able to speak with someone just 2 weeks ago who had an abortion 30 years ago, and she's in the spot I was 10 years ago.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
And seeing the hope in her eyes that I've been on that side and I'm on the other side now, and that she can go through the classes and get healing was just a sparkle in her eye. And so I'm helping her through that.
And you're probably saving a lot of lives. Especially with your sex education classes.
I hope so.
You know, because if all of a sudden they find they are pregnant, they don't choose the same way as they chose before.
Correct. I wish there was a clinic that I went to when I was 15 that didn't just kind of, I went in abortion minded and they gave me the information and I went ahead. I thought that was my only choice. I wasn't aware of the consequences. It wasn't a quick fix like they promised me. It definitely was a lifetime of hurt and anger and guilt. But I'm able to be on the other side and help now, which is just,
That's
it's everything.
great, Amber. Good for you.
Yay, thank you.
That's wonderful. And how are you involved now?
I am the executive director, and I manage the clinic, and I'm kind of the visionary now, where I had the vision to that we needed to go mobile, and so I'm grateful.
And how could they get in touch with you? Because our time is up
Yes,
practically.
oh my goodness. To support us, we have a website. It's supporthpc.org, or they can call our clinic at 714-897-7500.
Say it again slower.
714-897-7500, and the website is supporthpc.org.
Very good. And you're working also through St. Mary.
Well, that's how we
Started.
realized that it's really important that we're here in Long Beach, and we are completely nonprofit, supported by individuals and churches. And awareness is our biggest challenge. We really appreciate you having us today.
Thank you
And
very
thank you
much.
so
I'm
much.
delighted to have both of you. I know that it's good for both of you because you look radiant.
Oh, it's a gift.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll be right back. Welcome back. And we've got a real surprise for you, and something that you're going to really enjoy, because we have 3 women here today that are passionate about something that they do, as you can see how they're dressed. And it's called Shoestring City Ranch. Now, I bet you've gone by it at least twice a day, at some time, not every day. And you've wondered, what's happening down there? Today you're going to find out. We have Karen Thompson, who is the lead volunteer, Liz Bozella, did I say it right?
Yes.
Liz? Okay, who is a volunteer, and Hannah Davis, who is the youth team lead. And I'm going to start out with Karen, because she started this 8 years ago, and it's something that is fun that we think of, but it's much more to that than just fun. So hello, how are you?
Hi,
It's
thank
nice
you
to
for
see
having
you, Karen.
us today.
Tell me what you do.
Well, Shoestring City Ranch is a unique experience working with farm animals. And when we started 8 years ago, approximately 8 years ago, we started with farm animals because there was less and less in the city for the kids to have the experience.
Oh, and farm animals are wonderful.
Oh, great. From chickens to roosters to goats to horses,
Okay.
a little bit of everything. And the kids can learn through that. And when we started, the economic times were really tough. So we hadn't based it on rescue animals, but it ended up being that we ended up having all of our animals be rescue animals.
Is that right?
So through the years, we've rescued a lot of animals, and the kids have gotten a lot of leadership qualities out of that, being involved with them, helping with their medical needs, rescuing these animals, and then rehoming them.
Well, you know, I just was going to talk about horses. I didn't know you had all the other animals.
Yes, we have a little bit of everything.
And so children or adults.
Well, actually, from 9 years old to 99, we've had a variety of people come through the ranch. I've had a wish for a lady that was 99 years that just wanted to see a horse again. So she rode up in a car and rolled down her window, and we brought a horse over, and he was very appreciative and stuck his muzzle in the window.
Oh, how wonderful.
So on Sunday afternoons, we have the kids come out, and they get to have a chance to be able to groom an animal and care for an animal and help with the care that's going on with them, and find out the humility that animals sometimes go through.
And do they like feed the chickens and?
Oh yes, a little bit of everything. On Mondays and Tuesdays, in the morning and the afternoon, or the feeder for the chickens and the goats and the whole facility.
You know, I thought we were just going to talk about horses, and here we're talking about, I love that. Now, one of the things that I read about what you do is that children, and probably adults too, learn about the animal and how to take care of it and to pet it and to show it love for it before you ever let them on a horse.
Correct.
Is that right?
Yes. What happens is, I don't know, a lot of people realize that horses can live to almost 30 years. So they have to be prepared when they do take an animal in, that they'll be able to take care of this animal during its whole life, or to have a plan and maybe adopt an older horse that maybe needs to be taken care of instead.
Before I go to Liz, like how many horses and other stuff do you have?
We have 10 horses right now, and a few of the horses are leased out to different homes or fostered at different homes. But on the facility right now, we have approximately 10.
Is that right?
We have a couple of goats and some chickens and a little bit of everything.
So goats, chickens, and horses mainly?
Yes.
Very good. Okay, Liz. What can you add to all this exciting stuff?
It's not only the children that have the experience. I came to Karen because I wanted to learn about horses, how to take care of them. And before I was allowed on a horse, you know, I learned to groom them and clean up after them, feed them, and how to be safe.
And why did you go in the first place?
Well, my son was a senior.
You're a volunteer.
I am.
Okay.
My son was a senior at Poly, and I knew he'd be going off to college, and this is something I always wanted that I never thought that I would have living in the city. And so I just went through looking for riding lessons, and then I saw Karen's sign. Called her up, and she said, "What are you doing this afternoon?" So I jumped right in.
We need this and this and this.
Right, yeah, it's been a great
How long have you
experience.
been doing this?
About 18 months now.
That's great.
Yes,
And you're
I
still
love it.
enthusiastic.
I love it.
And you get to learn to love the animals.
Yes, it's my happy place.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
And anyway, Hannah, I know you're doing something with children.
I'm a team leader, so on Sunday afternoons I'm in charge of keeping everybody all together, give them jobs to do, and just make sure all the horses are taken care of.
So you help on Sunday afternoons?
Yes, I'm there Sunday afternoons, and I'm there all throughout the week usually.
And how did you find this place and why?
We found Karen on Groupon, and we decided, or I wanted to do, like, I just wanted to be with the horses, so I started volunteering. She needed help one day, and I just started cleaning a stall, and it just escalated from there.
And so you work as a volunteer on Sundays then?
Yes.
Very good. And like how many kids or adults might you have?
Sometimes it can be like 5 people, but then we have other times when there's like 20 people. Just depends on the day.
Is that right? How do people find out about you and all these?
Well, word of mouth, through foster agencies, different social workers know about us, teachers, schools. The website's mostly word of mouth, I would say, would probably be the most. We haven't done a lot of social media because we're out there on the ranch and it's dirty and it's not a very much technical help from me because that's not my thing. But I'll get referrals from people, or something that was interesting is Hannah wanted to be a veterinarian. So she's been getting the skill sets to be able to do that. So she'll be able to use that on her resume.
And what do they do when they volunteer to help?
Well, when they come out, the first thing we do is get a liability form signed off and then get them logged into the website. Kangaroo Time donated a software for us to be able to calculate the hours. I used to be at night calculating the man hours you have to do for the requirements for the 501c3. And then we have different jobs that people ask about. So the first thing I ask them, why are you here and how can I help you? Because maybe it might be something that doesn't have anything to do with animals at all. It could be maybe they have had a family loss, or it's a foster family and they're trying to connect with their kids. So I will cater it around that. Or maybe I have a referral from school that somebody's been bullied, and through the horses I can teach a lesson upon that, and then the kids can have an opportunity to share. So after we're done with the activities of the day, the kids will share thank yous and what they learned that day. So they get to be able to just share how they're feeling that day.
I had a neighbor many years ago that had a son that was quite unruly, and she found someplace in Long Beach that had horses, and they would take him out like 3 times a week, and he would clean the horses and do all of the things that, and it changed his personality.
It can do that.
Do you see stories like that?
Yeah,
Yes.
lots of stories like
All of a
that.
sudden he was calmer and you know, more approachable, and
Well, I think what happens is with the animal having a need, they feel that need. So they feel like they're needed. So
the animal and the person.
The person feels needed because they're caring for the animal and they are their substance. You know, they're the one that's coming to supply food to them, maybe supplements. We have a couple horses on the ranch that have medical needs every single day, twice a day. So there's volunteers coming twice a day to make sure that that animal gets the necessary medications that they need. Or if we run into a hoof issue, that takes daily care, sometimes triple time care, and we'll get animals that are in pretty bad shape.
You need volunteers.
Yes.
You need people to help.
Yes.
And what are your other needs? What I mean, this is obviously it's on a shoestring.
Yes.
It's between you and the volunteers.
Yes.
And you're all volunteering your time for this. And like how many people do you have involved each week, volunteering and as visitors?
It can be anywhere between 50 and 100 people
every month, every week.
every week.
Okay, and so what are the needs that you have, and how can you get more volunteers?
Well, we need volunteers to help us with a few things. We need financial backing for the medical that we need to pay for the
You don't
veterinarians.
have big gala balls to raise money.
No, we actually don't have, one of the things that's unique about Shoestring City Ranch is there's no unpaid. We're 100% volunteer based. We've been that way for the whole time we've been in existence.
And you're the one that does it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
And
but
volunteers
we have passion. Everyone has passion about the animals and wants to help with that.
You said
So-
you needed a sign.
We do need a sign. We need a new sign, a fresh face to us would be helpful. About 5 years ago, somebody donated a sign, and it's starting to show its wear from the.
Now, just a minute. I know that I go by it. Where is it again?
We're right off the 605 and Carson. We're on the border of Long Beach and Lakewood, across from the Walmart. So it's Lakewood Equestrian Center.
It's Lakewood and Carson.
No. It's Carson and the 605. Not
It's Carson
Lakewood.
and this. Okay, it's Carson and the 605.
But
Right
it's on-
across from Town Center.
Sorry,
I
it's on the
see.
border of Long
Okay.
Beach.
Okay. And you have a street that goes by there with thousands of cars every day,
Yes.
and they probably would love to have a sign saying, "What did they do down there?"
Correct. That would probably be pretty good.
So you were mentioning that Long Beach had a ordinance against farm animals in the city.
Well, what happens is Long Beach is a very big city, but they've taken away the agricultural places to be able to have horses, equine, goats, and so forth. They're making some progress for some people having them in their homes on the bigger lots, but we need to have the green space back to be able to have agricultural in Long Beach. We're a big community.
They need more of a farm atmosphere.
Yes,
The calmness that animals bring. And,
correct.
Yes.
And the need that they bring.
Yes, the community would benefit greatly from that.
And tell me one story that comes out in your mind where it really made a difference in somebody's life?
Well, all of a sudden I can't think of anything.
Okay. I should have told you I was going to ask a question like that. Well, you probably see changes in
I see
attitude
changes,
every day.
yes, quite
Yeah.
a bit. I've had a few kids that have come down that have been very angry, and they've been having trouble at school, and even we're thinking about changing the school that they were in, and then assign them a horse or an animal
That they
to
take
be
care
able to
of.
take care of them. And I'm going to pick on Hannah a little bit. When Hannah came, she really didn't talk very much. She's a true leader. She's inspirational. She's out there leading
But
the
she
group.
isn't showing it.
Yeah,
Okay,
she's-
Hannah, we got to
yeah.
work on you.
Yeah. So nowadays she's out there orchestrating, organizing, demonstrating vaccinations
So it's good for
and
you
things.
too. It's good for the volunteers as well as the wonderful work
I
with
think
children.
everyone, Liz, wouldn't you say everybody gets a little something?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
great.
So
Well, you said that's your happy place.
It is my happy
Yeah,
place.
I love that. Oh, well, you know, I just love what you're doing, and I wish more people knew about it. Of course, then you need more volunteers, and you've got your hands full now, but we'll wish the best for you. Maybe somebody out there is watching that will think, hey, I want to be involved
well,
with
we
that.
are going to have a 5K on November 20th at 8 a.m. So please come out and run for the horses.
Okay, thank you very
Thank you.
much. Isn't that wonderful? We had that in our city. Let's get involved. Talk to you next time.